Hi children, welcome back to the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender. So in the previous stanzas we already discussed, isn't it, the two stanzas. And see, as you know, the theme of the poem is social injustice and class inequality, and poverty also comes as the sub-theme. And can you recall about that poem? Just we can go back to the two stanzas. Okay. And the first stanza, the poet describes about the physical condition of the children who were attending the elementary classroom in a slum, isn't it? And now the second stanza, he gives a vivid description on what the pathetic condition of the classroom. And in such a way, he had given beautifully what the condition of the slum children who were attending the elementary classroom, isn't it? Now we can go to the third stanza. See, surely Shakespeare is wicked and the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night. On this slag heap, these children, where skins peep through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space of foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. And see, in the first line it reveals that surely Shakespeare is wicked and the map a bad example. And the previous stanza you learned that the classroom is decorated with what? Is decorated with many portraits. Portrait of Shakespeare, then portrait of rising sun, then the portrait of what? Domes with huge buildings, and then the world map, isn't it? And the beginning line itself, the poet is telling that but this portrait of Shakespeare and the portrait of the world map is bad example. Why the poet is telling like that? Because Shakespeare, you know, Shakespeare is an epitome of education, isn't it? He is a great literate person, and moreover, in his literature, in his literary works, he enlightens the world, which is quite contrast to the slum children. They can't reach this enlightened world. They don't know who's this Shakespeare. They don't know about his literary works, isn't it? And about the map, the world map. The world map is representing many countries, many beautiful foreign countries, which is quite unreachable for the slum children. And so what happened? With ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. And this in his Shakespeare's works, what he is revealing what? Love, isn't it? Almost his literary works deals with what? Love. Then adventure. The adventure is referred with the word ships. Okay, ships is referred what? Adventurous stories written by Shakespeare. And what about the word sun? The word sun reveals what? The bright or what? The warmth nature, isn't it? The pleasant nature. But all these examples, the adventure, the warmth of the nature or the beauty of the nature and love, all these are quite unreachable and quite contrast to the slum children. So that is why the poet is describing this as what? Bad example. The portrait of Shakespeare and the world map is bad example for this poor slum children. Now see, for lives that slyly turned in their cramped holes. So poor children, then what will they do? They turn their life into what? To what? In their cramped holes. Slyly means secretly. So they can only aspire to reach this world, isn't it? But limitations are there. That's only their dream. They can't reach to this what? Foreign countries, isn't it? And so what will they do? Their life is secretly turned into where? Into their cramped holes. You know what is cramped holes? Cramped means very narrow, isn't it? Very narrow holes. And here the word cramped holes refers to their dwelling places, their residence, their homes. See, in this cramped holes, like their residence is like this, very pathetic, isn't it? In this house they are living. So Only they can only dream about what? About going to the foreign place, isn't it? And they can dream only about adventure, and they cannot enjoy the beauty of the nature. So very secretly, they themselves were forced to turn their lives into this houses. Okay. And see the next line. From fog to endless night. So what these poor children will do? They spend their life from fog to endless night. Fog means daytime. Okay, here the word fog is referred to day. And the previous stanza also, this word used by the poet to reveal the pathetic condition of the slum children. Fog, it is misty, isn't it? It blocked our vision. And so in such a way it is used, but here in this line, the word fog refers to the daytime. So from daytime to endless night, from day to night, these slum children, they were forced to spend their life at where? In luxurious buildings? No. Whether they can go out to foreign countries? No. So they were forced to secretly turn to their cramped holes, their narrow houses. Okay. Then on their slag heap, these children. Slag heap means what? Pile of waste, isn't it? Have you seen that in roadside and maybe sometimes in some residence area, waste may be dumped by the rich people, isn't it? They were thinking of about themselves only. They want to discard what the waste that comes in their places, and so what they will do, they used to dump this waste outside the street, in the street like the slum area. And so on their slag heap, these children, and these children are compared to what? Just like this pile of waste. And the poet is telling about the slum children who were attending the classroom, isn't it? And so how these children what felt to the poet, because the physical appearance and moreover the conditions of the classroom seems to be what? Just like the pile of waste. See the condition, it is too worse. No. So just like this, the slum children are sitting in the classroom. And where skins peep through by bones and spectacles of steel. And again the poet is telling about the condition of these poor children. What was their condition? Where skins peep through by bones. We can count their bones, because what? Their bones are peeping out through their skin, isn't it? That reflects what? That reflects they are malnourished or they are undernourished. And spectacles of steel. Why they are wearing spectacles of steel? Because they cannot afford to buy luxurious spectacles, isn't it? And even the rich people, they used to buy simply spectacles simply just for fashion they used to wear. But here, for the slum children, wearing spectacle, it may be a necessity for them. Why? Because as they are malnourished or undernourished, they may have poor vision, isn't it? So spectacle is a necessity, but they can afford to buy the spectacle. So maybe, this is only the interpretation, so maybe they got the spectacles with steel framed, isn't it? And from where they had got the spectacle, maybe from among the waste. As they are living in the slum area, the piles of waste may be there, and it may be their habit to search something from the waste, isn't it? And so from this pile of waste, sometimes they got this spectacle that was discarded by some rich people. Anyway, the slum children, they used which kind of spectacle? The spectacle with steel frame. And what was its condition? With mended glass, like bottle bits on stones, and it is repaired. It was not a perfect one, isn't it? It is mended glass. It is cracked. And how the poet is compared this spectacle? Like bottle bits on stones. See, if the bottles were broken and fell on the stones, how it will penetrate, isn't it? And so just like this spectacle is cracked, and this cracked spectacle with steel frame was wearing by this poor slum children. All of their time and space of foggy slum. again the poet is repeating the what condition, the mental condition of the slum children. And see, they can spend all their time, life, space, everything at where? At their foggy slum. Foggy means what? It's cloudy, misty, isn't it? And so in the dull slum, they were forced to live the entire life. So blowed their maps with slums as big as domes. And so the poet is telling that instead of hanging the world map, it is better that what? The slums should be marked in the map, and that should be hanged on the classroom wall. Then it will be more big, because the slum is more, the condition of the slum people is getting worse and worse, and it is compared to what? As big as doom. Doom means what? Disaster, the ending of the world, isn't it? And so the life of the slum children, if it is marked on the map, it will be as big as what? As big as a disaster. So in such a way, in this stanza, the poet is again and again revealing the mental condition and the pathetic physical features of this slum children. I explained, I told that what these children appears to be as what? Skinny, isn't it? Their bones can be counted through their skin. See, just like this. Okay. Now the vocabulary, very simple words the poet had used in this poem. Wicked, evil. Then tempting, attractive. What were the tempting or attractive things to for the slum children? That Shakespeare's portrait, then the world map, then what? This adventure stories written by Shakespeare. Everything seems to be only attractive, but moreover, they were bad examples, isn't it? Then slyly, secretly, crammed, very narrow, slag heap, that is pile of, waste, then mended, repaired, and blot is spot or mark. Okay. Now we can check the literary device. See, in the previous two stanzas, we discussed the literary devices used by the poet, isn't it? And this stanza also, the poet had used many literary devices such as simile, metaphor, and symbols. And simile in which line? Like bottle bits on stones. Then slums as big as dooms. Then now metaphor, the spectacles of steel. Indirectly, the poet is comparing what? The spectacles, isn't it? The spectacles, the frame of the spectacles that is made of what? Steel. So just metaphor. Then now symbols and images. See, when you read this line, ship, sun and love, at that time the very picture comes to our mind, isn't it? And so in such a way, the literary device is what? Symbols or images. Okay, that's all about the literary devices. And I hope this stanza is very clear to you, and you have to read well. Okay, then we can see in the next class with the next stanza. Bye.